Hi, I find myself with a little bit of free time, and I like to come downstairs and just do a little bit of art. And sometimes if I don't have a lot of time, I'll just make these backgrounds. I just throw some paint on it, and I just make these backgrounds for later. Maybe I'll cut them up and use them in other things, but I just like to use them, and I love to spend time with my grandkids. And just maybe, oh, should I use that? Oh, here's a couple that my granddaughter and I were just playing with, so maybe I'll work off one of these. I call these Doodle Flowers. I'm going to work with acrylics. I keep my acrylics in one of these. It's a Stay Wet Handy palette, and I picked this up years ago. I like to use it. It keeps my paints wet, and you can see that they're wet's kind of like my palette. I do change it out once in a while, but for the most part, it stays wet. And I always like to spray it with, I just have any old water spray bottle. I fill it with water, and I spray it. I think I'll use this one. See, it's got the edge on it. I like that. So along with my paint next to me, I like to have a paper towel. Here's one that's dry that I can reuse. I'm all about reusing. This just lets me get off some of the water. I think I'll start right in. Just doodle and have some fun. Maybe over here, I'll make another flower. Let's see. I think with this, I'm going to load a little bit of white on that. Maybe I'll do a little bit more yellow. And you know, it may not look like a flower now, but it will eventually. And it doesn't matter as long as I like it. I'm going to make some leaves, or rather petals. And I think I'll go back to it. Do one more thing, load some more white on this. All I do, looks like I got a clump, so I'm going to get that off. All I do is very similar to the white flowers, is I just kind of start putting the petals in. Okay, what else shall I do? So what's fun about these, it's just all doodles. So because I like to doodle, I will start doing something that I always did. Ever since I was a little girl, part of the doodling process for me was just always drawing these lines. So let's start drawing some lines. I think I'll put a couple of leaves in there. Let's see, now this is already green, so maybe I'll put a blue leaf in there. Doesn't have to be a green leaf. Let's see, kind of like to make those heart leaves. All my grandkids like to paint, among other things, and I love them so much. Okay, I'm just going to put a dot because I feel like it. Cool. You know what? I still have some green on my paintbrush, and I think I might okay. Now, I know another thing I like to do is I kind of like to outline these guys. Yeah. There we go. Now you tell me, did you like it before, or do you like it better when it's outlined in white? I kind of like it with the white. And I think, let me get a slightly smaller brush. I think that's the one I want. I think I'll put one more of those in. I think with the same brush, maybe I'll try to do a little, maybe I'll do a little blade of grass. Put a little bit more paint in down here. This is almost done. Really liking it. Okay. I think I'm going to use this. Gotta soften it a little bit stiff with the soap. I could probably use a little red going up in that area. This is the part I like to do the most. I'm going to add a little bit of color of the leaves for underneath where it might be shadows or shading. Under this area, I'm going to, maybe, that's a little bit too much white, I think. I'll add some more of the green in under here as well. The last thing I do, put that up there, oh, there's my lines that I made. The last thing I do is I kind of look at it and I go, wow, did I miss color anywhere or did I miss anything? And sometimes I say, oh yeah, I did. Other times I say, no, I'm fine. But I do like to play. So what I will do is I'll say, hey, this isn't that bright white. How about I put a big, huge white dot in there? So I do. It's not a flower, it's a dot. I could put them anywhere. I also like to use red. I'm not going to do anything else to the leaves. I don't need to. I don't need to make them three-dimensional or anything. It's kind of contemporary. So some things are three-dimensional, some things are not. Some things are realistic, some things are not. That's all the fun of doing this. Okay, so the last thing I'll do is I'll sign it. And I think maybe I'll sign it in this light blue. And there's my mark. And what I'm going to do, since my granddaughter added some flowers to this, is when she comes over next, I will have her sign it too. She's actually, I'm going to put a little bit more white in this. She loves to sign her name. Gives her a real sense of accomplishment. And it's something we will always have together. Joint work that we work on. Boy, the day I had a grandchild, I was the luckiest person in the world. Now I have 3. So lucky. I love them all. I'm going to wrap it up. I am putting soap on my brush. I'm straightening it, shaping it, and I'm going to let it dry. Let's see. Make sure you get a good picture of it. And I hope you like it.